Namaste. Welcome to Global Perspectives. Our guest for today's episode of Global Perspectives is Dr. Charudatta Pingale. He is an ENT surgeon and a spiritual leader. Welcome to the show, sir.
Namaskar.
You're a part of the university called University for Spirituality. What is the vision behind it?
University of Spirituality, called as Maharshi Adhyatma Vishwavidyalaya, through which a student will have that ability that he can cope up with any challenges of the life over the globe.
So when youngsters are more inclined towards fields like science, engineering, technology, what is the major factor you think would attract students to this particular university?
If the recent youth, they are attracted towards science, then I have a few questions to them. The modern science, they manufacture steel, and the building prepared by that modern steel has valuation of 50 years of age for that building. If you go in India, you will see the standing and functioning temples more than 1000 years back. Then which science is better, that modern or past science? The modern science, they value it for 50 or 60, 70 years of age. If you go in painting industry, if you go in Ajanta, Ellora, the ancient caves 2000 years back, in that era, there are painting on the wall, and the paints, they are still alive and not yet been removed there. But if you see in modern science, if they paint any building, in 2 or 3 years they have to repaint the thing, and if you have a good painting in your house and framed it, after 10-15 years the paint get fades. So the paint industry from ancient time was more powerful or more useful or more last longing, or from modern science. So I can go in everything, even water supply, canal system, river system. As a doctor I am speaking, the first ever plastic surgery was reported in Pune in 1700 something. If you go to analytical study of modern operative instrument, and if you correlate it with Ayurvedic operative instrument of Shushruta or Ayurveda, 90% similarity you will resemble with the modern operating instrument, conventional instrument. Now different technology has been evolved. So if you go deep and deep in any sector of science, even in mathematics, if you go in more deeper sense, in Harappa and Mohenjo-daro time, you see the jewelry in the neck of females and males at that time, which has been depreciated there. So golden and silver extraction from the earth as a metal and metallurgical work of manufacturing jewelry was a common process in India. So if we teach them our ancient Sanatan science or spirituality in a correct perspective, in correct analytical way, they will realize that the real knowledge is with them like a Himalayan musk deer. Like that, our youth, they are misguided. They have been deliberately imposed with some ideology and scientific knowledge. Even if you go in mathematical way, the mathematics, Varahamir, Bhaskaracharya, and you must accept that zero and numerology was given from our continent to Western.
So you're saying that a lot of the information and a lot of the practices have been taken from Hindu religion or scriptures and then have been adopted by Westerners as theirs.
During Britishers' time, during Mughals' time, the globe used to connect their watches and timing with Ujjain time zone, Indian time zone. So right from time zone, astrology, when the people were saying that earth is flat and earth is stable and sun was rotating around earth, at that time we know Bhu Gol, Bhu is Gol, and they know the correct time of eclipse, solar eclipse and lunar eclipse also. So not only mathematics was developed, trigonometry was not developed, but also they were able to calculate the speed of all those grahas. Their source of knowledge is from Indian knowledge system only, Sanatan knowledge system only.
You mean to say that they don't always give the credit?
They say your agriculture, organic agriculture with cow dung, with cow and bull, so backward. Our modern agriculture with urea and this fertilizer and that. Now they are saying that, oh no, organic is better thing. We used to offer seva to cow and we used to have a cow in our house. If you know chemistry, and when you burn that cow dung cake, the charcoal, the activated charcoal is the best purifier of anything. Even in chemical industry, activated charcoal is used to purify the gas before letting them release in environment to avoid pollution. So every act of ancient Sanatan Parampara and ancient spiritual science, that was based on very much biological, biosymbiotic way of life and protecting the environment with human. Now science is reaching that height that they can understand our view.
But is there something wrong in not giving the credit? Is this knowledge not for everybody to share?
Yes, knowledge is open for everybody. In modern day, if you do any research project, you have to give the references. You have the big bibliography at the end of your, and they ask from where this reference has come. So it's their duty to give credit to ancient Indian spiritual science.
How would you define spirituality?
Spirituality is a science which deals with the study of self-realization.
Do you think spirituality is something that can be inculcated?
In superficial view, yes. In deeper view, no. The layer of ignorance is much more hiding yourself and you are too much away from your realization. Some external efforts need to be done under guidance of your spiritual master. In that way, superficially you can say that spirituality can be inculcated.
Spirituality is a concept that people often confuse with religion or with fatalism.
Due to ignorance, everybody is trying to protect one branch of the tree. But it has no use unless you won't protect the roots and you don't water the roots, you don't soil the roots, the tree will not flourish or branch or grow or protected. So conflict is one branch is trying to make superiority over other branch and other branch is trying to show its superiority over other branch. But basically you have to go toward roots and that is spirituality. Spirituality means your inner world.
When we talk about spirituality and people linking to spirituality, we have something that's called the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where there is a pyramid and we have the basic needs in the bottom. So meaning to say, until you have your basic needs fulfilled, you can't go for self-actualization or self-realization. Since in India, in Nepal and in a lot of developing countries, there are a lot of population, a lot of people who are in the poverty line or are below the poverty line. So does that mean spirituality is only for the rich people and not for the poor people?
Many Rishi Munis, even in present era also, they are only with one pair of clothes and one pot for their food only. So spirituality has to do nothing with your economic status.
While it is true that spirituality is important, we can't deny that money is also important. To fulfill the basic needs, it's important to function. For that functioning, money is a prerequisite and we can't live without it. And as far as we talk about Rishi Munis, that is a small population there. While there are so many people in the world suffering from poverty and we have the sustainable development goals, we have human rights where everybody should be treated the same, everybody should not be devoid of their rights, then what are they fighting for? Do you not think that it is important and it is an important factor even spirituality should consider?
Our Sanatan scripture has given direction of dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So Sanatan Dharma has never denied any need of money in your life.
Rather than money, I would say it's about fulfilling basic rights. It's not money, it's basic rights that I'm focusing on.
Yeah, but my question is, does development of science and does this modern society has eradicated poverty? When they are not able to eradicate poverty and the society is in stress and sadness and unhappiness, then spirituality is giving the vision to be happy.
You don't necessarily mean to say we have to take them separate. We have to take it parallelly.
Yeah.
When we're just discussing, there's a tendency of saying everything that's Western is negative. Is that what you mean?
No. Everything of Western is not bad. There are some good qualities. They have their nation pride. We lack that nation pride. They as a society think of their society. We as a society we are selfish, not thinking of our society, of our nation. They have disciplined life. We don't have disciplined life. If you go in Western perspective, they will enter in bus through line, they will enter in rail through a line, they don't jumble. They pay their tax honestly, but our people, they don't pay their tax to government honestly. Their one attitude I like is that they have research attitude. And they have scientific temperament. If you say that your attitude is non-scientific, you have to go for this experiment, then you will realize the importance of Sanatana. Then they will try to do that experiment, and if they get results, they will accept.
Do you think the youth of our nation, they're more influenced by Western philosophy?
Yeah, they are more influenced by Western philosophy because education is a medium to propagate thoughts. And due to 1000 years of continuous conflict among Mughals and missionaries, And when they took over, they destruct our conventional Gurukulam and our education system, and they established their English speaking, English language medium schools, convent schools. At that time, due to some industrial development in initial stage, that society run behind Western perspective, because they have manufactures guns, they have manufactures equipments for battle, and they were afraid also, and with force and power they imposed their education system. But now the Western, they are trending to Sanatan Parampara. They realize that you run behind money and you are always land up into unhappiness and sadness. Now in search of peace and bliss, they are approaching now this Sanatan Parampara, Sanatan knowledge system. So our youth, those who are influenced by Western philosophy, they will in short period realize, and they have to come back to their original path, and it will happen in few years.
So you're saying our youths are so not in touch with their roots that they're influenced by something else, and they can't, they don't have that strength to stay rooted.
Because 3 generation, continuously 3-4 generation, they have been influenced by Western philosophy, Western perspective. So they have been not guided with Eastern philosophy, Eastern perspective or Sanatan perspective.
But is that their strength or is that our weakness? We're not able to keep them grounded to their roots. We're not able to pull them like Western philosophy has that influence on them.
I won't say it's their strength. I won't say it's their conspiracy. Because with the power of gun and some arm, they forced to accept their philosophy 3-4 generation back. And now it's our weakness that we are not searching our roots. So in both way, being an introspective person, we have to realize our weakness and we have to take efforts for on our side. That's why the very much motto of establishment of the University of Spirituality is that only, that you realize your root first.
After knowing this situation, what do you think are the efforts that need to be made, or in short, what are the efforts that are being made?
We are approaching youths and all sort of intellectuals and some socio-political leaders, and we are debating with importance of spirituality and comparatively acceptance with modern science and this philosophy. Sanatan knowledge empowerment is the basic need, and we are doing that thing. And when these people and youth, they want to practice and they also want to innovate like Rishi Munis, they want to contribute in science, they want to contribute in betterment of society, they want to contribute in protection of their nation. So due to spiritual practice, they can again go for ancient spiritual science innovation.
So when we talk about any kind of practice, whether that be spiritual practice or the practice of meditation, something that it requires is consistency, and that is where the difficult part is. It's difficult to maintain. How can we motivate ourselves to stay consistent in the practice of spirituality?
It's only question of priority. Secondly, it's only question of knowing importance about that. Because if we see some student, they are taking education, it's a long process for 12 years, he is continuously 6 and 8 hours studying and getting only 10+2. Thereafter 3 years for degree, 2 years for post degree, then PhD, and then so and so. So getting a worldly knowledge and a job or business, you devote nearly 18 years of your life to earn only money. Then when you realize that you need a blissful life, a happy life, a peaceful life, the moment at which you realize that money, they will fulfill my need, but need of my soul, need of my mind, need of my intellect, that can be only resolved through spirituality, that moment you can devote time in consistency. According to our Sanatan scriptures, everyone cannot be a sannyasi or a saint. There are always different layers of society in spiritual spectrum also. So to start with 23 hours for my worldly life, 1 hour for my spiritual life is a principle to start your spiritual practice.
Can you tell us something about this Sanatan Dharma that you keep mentioning about?
Sanatan Dharma is basically means self-realization. The moment you are connected with Sanatan Dharma Parampara, Guru will say, do your external job for your fulfillment of worldly expectations, but to have a blissful and peaceful life, you get connected with your soul. And from there your spiritual journey start. So spirituality is a science which deals within you to realize yourself, and modern science which deals with external objects to fulfillment of your some expectation. There are different paths: Bhakti Marg, Gyan Marg, Hatha Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, meditation or some different paths. At present, you are under control of your senses and expectation. Spirituality simply means to get rid of those slavery of your defects and ego and be a very neutral person without any defect and ego. See the things how they are and how they were. So purity of mind is there, purity of heart there, feeling of bliss is there. Ultimately we have big quantum of these people, then we have good society, good nation and peaceful globe.
Not just in the Hindu Sanatan Dharma, but also in different religions, whether that be Christian or Islam or Sikhism or Jainism. There is that ideal figure. This is what a person should be like. For example, in the Hindu Sanatan Dharma, we have Maryada Purushram. When we talk about the people today, do you think it is practically possible for a person to be that ideal self? Do you think that's practically possible?
See, Sanskrit, the only language accepted by NASA as a language of universe. Sanatan philosophy, our shlokas and verses from our scriptures, they were the sources of many quantum theory and this energy converted to mass E is equal to mc square. So all sort of those theories put by the Western scientists, they have their source in our scriptures. So development of modern science has the base of Sanatan scriptures. So you learn Sanskrit, you learn Sanatan scriptures and philosophies, and then with your modern knowledge you contribute in science, in nation, in medical science, in social science, in languages, and connect with this universe on a spiritual dimension. See, knowledge is the power of present era. Sanatan scriptures, Sanskrit language and Sanatan principles, they are the source of all modern science knowledge. So if you get connected with the roots of your Eastern philosophy or Sanatan Parampara, you will be the next leader of this globe. So connect with the roots and be a global leader.
Thank you so much for being with us in the show today.
Thank you very much.
We will be back next week with a new episode. Until then, hope you have a great week ahead. Namaste.